Welcome to another episode on the Highs and Lows podcast crypto segment, where we talk about everything happening in the crypto markets and also how you should play the market, how you should invest, and what you shouldn't do. And we also take your questions. So as usual, I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Ochoma Miracle.
Hi guys, how is everybody doing?
I guess everyone is doing amazingly well. The market is green.
Yeah, the market
It's all green.
is
Bitcoin has done a new all-time high for this month, and I think for last month too. So for this quarter, basically second quarter, Bitcoin has done a new all-time high. We were at 76k a few weeks ago.
Right.
Now we've touched $94,000, which is huge relief. It's really amazing.
It's good, but at least for the alt, we're seeing a little bit of life. We saw some alt do 30, 40, up to 70%, with some alt. So although most alts are like 60 to 80% down.
Yeah, most of the alts are still
all-time high.
Down.
Even with those, some of these alts that we know that, okay, maybe their previous all-time high where is even undervalued. Imagine them still being like 60-70% down.
Down from all-time high.
From here, some of them will need up to 10x for them to even go back to like a fair valuation. But all in all, it's beginning to look like we are seeing some relief rallies. We are seeing
the
some
market,
positive news.
But the thing there now is, we've always said this since February, March. We've been telling the community this year, load up on those projects that are 80-90% down in valuation, lots of discounts in the market. This is just a phase. The market will soon bounce back. We've been saying this since February, March, but as usual, the major issue we tend to see in this ecosystem is once the market becomes bearish, most people, they leave the market. They vacate the market entirely. They have zero motivation to invest. Even when we scream it, we've screamed it severally that the best time to invest
it's when the market
is down. And we've been saying this to the community on Twitter Spaces, on Clubhouse, subsequent episodes we've done on the podcast here. We've spoken about it, but it's quite sad that it's now that you'll be seeing some persons that will start asking stuff like, is it still a good time to buy?
Well, I think one of the reasons why that happens to people is most people, they don't take profit when things are like good. So when it crashes, they don't have money to buy it again.
I would say contrary. Okay, I'll frame it better. I would say most people, they don't treat this as a business.
Yes, that take out your capital. No, they just want, I put $100 and I'm cashing out, let's say $4,000. Those kind of huge chunks. That's what most persons are going for. Instead of use this $100, collect $150, it falls back again. Use the $100, collect $200. Like, you can make that thing over and over again and
multiple times
realize a good amount of money. While some just prefer, maybe because of the way their income comes in, or maybe they are not always around to be in front of their laptop, they prefer, I buy at X point in price and I'm looking to offload everything at Z point in price.
Which brings about strategy. It's not bad for people to want to buy an asset with $200 and pull out $4,000, but it's absurd and insane when you think every asset would be able to do that or would present that opportunity. So most persons, they still don't treat it as a business. They have no underlying strategy. They have no milestones that they can use to review their progress. You get and see that, okay, this thing that they are doing, realistically, it's possible. It's not just wishful thinking. At the end of the day, I think this is like one of the major issues people face in the market, because even airdrops, people make money from airdrops.
Talking about,
they would not even take the money.
Yes, because some people, they've grown to now believe in the airdrop so much so that I tell people, even if yes, the airdrop is massive, the devs, they have good plans, and you've been in the community, you can see the light. Sometimes if you get an airdrop, let's say you get an airdrop of $200, collect 50% first.
At least.
Take 50% of it.
Because,
You at least 50%.
yeah.
So that even if we have a huge dump in that asset, you'll be like, oh, thank God, it was free money, or I took out some part of it. Because I've seen people lost money on Pengu, people lost money on these other new chains that came up, Dimension.
So many.
I've forgotten the name.
Even Kinto.
Yes, they lost money
So
because
many.
most people believed in the airdrop, that they held it, it's going to correct, and
they fail to understand that whenever an airdrop is done in a bullish market,
it's all about hype.
that airdrop has one certain future, which is it will dump. It must dump. Look at me dumped.
The Magic Eden is down,
aggressively.
Pengu is down.
Like almost there's
Tau.
no airdrop that happened late last year. Exception of hype.
Yeah,
that's Hyperliquid. Exception of Hyperliquid, which we know why.
Yeah.
You get now, but 85% of other airdrops that happened fourth quarter of last year, even early this year, they are all down. They are still down, even right now that the market is gradually recovering.
Coming up, yes.
And people fail to understand that there are projects that they will never ever recover.
Of course, no.
You get, they
Because
will
of the
never.
economics, yes.
Yeah, they will never recover. Which was also why, based on experience from 2021, we stopped participating in most of the IDOs.
Yeah.
You get, because most of those
Because the launch
IDOs
pads
over
were
time
yes.
they became inflated, the valuation.
Yeah.
There's one that happened recently. Is it BI or something like that on AVAX?
Okay.
That happened recently. I'm trying to get the full name.
How did it perform?
Pre-sellers, like investors that bought via before launch, via
Yeah,
pre-sale.
that's pre-sale, yes.
Most of them, they are still down bad. Since the token launched, it's been dumping.
People that even bought pre-sale,
They are down bad.
Are you not sure that project will go on?
You never can tell. So people need to understand that most of these projects, they're also a cash grab. They just come, they say all fancy and nice stuffs, and afterwards project is dead. And what people fail to understand is it's not scam actually.
No.
That's how the investment market works. If you meet like VCs investing, their thesis for investment is if they invest in 10-20 companies, they only need a fraction of it to perform well. So realistically, if a VC is investing in, let's say, 20 companies, the VC only needs like 4 to perform well.
Yes.
So even in the point of investment, they're already expecting that at least 50% will fail.
Probably fail, yeah.
And they are okay with it. So even if that VC is investing $1 million total investment in those 20 different companies, he's expecting that 500k would go down the drain. That's his expectation by default. It's expected that this 500k, half of it would fail. He's only expecting 20% to at most 30% to perform well. But once those projects perform well, the returns would be more than his entire $1 million he invested.
Yeah.
So just that 30% project performing well, sometimes might even be 10% performing well. That 10% project that performed well can give him $5 million,
Right.
or even $10 million, or even much more than that. So most people need to understand this when also investing in other projects in the market, and also when engaging in airdrops, because these airdrops, their tokens are representing projects.
Yes, talking about even the recent airdrop that we had, which was Zora. It turned out a lot of people didn't really make money from it.
I doubt anybody made money from Zora.
I saw a certain artist which she said he has been using Zora for like 5 years or something, and he made quite I think 130 something K or so.
He was a full-time creator.
Yes,
most likely he had created more than 500-600 stuffs there.
Yeah, so
on Zora.
But then this argument or this concern of asset dumping, like Zora is like a very solid platform on Base that people like to interact, but for them to carry out such an airdrop that value is like down.
No, the Zora airdrop was trash, because not only that the value was down, the token was trading in multiple exchanges and no one had seen anything relating to airdrop, or nobody had even gotten their tokens. You
That's the
understand?
market then.
Yes. No, not pre-market. Airdrop. No one was able to like get their tokens yet, despite the fact that the token had been trading for over 24 hours. It's much later, I think 24 hours after or 48 hours after that people started seeing the claim link and claiming. And by then, even before airdrop farmers started getting their tokens, this particular token had already dumped. So who was dumping?
That's the thing,
who was actually dumping? Where was the sell pressure coming from? These are the
obviously
issues.
the team and insiders behind
and this is also where we have market makers making
make a whole lot
so
of
much money
But,
from all this stuff. Because like
I'm excited about the market outlook for our chains of interest, which one of them is Chromia. Chromia, Alright. This time, yes, Alright, because Alright, in the bear market, there are like a few projects that stood out in terms of their constant development, irrespective of market factor. And Alright was that project. And even now, you can see Alright has announced Thesis, which is like
they're still actively building
AI market aggregator that listens to the market, can give you investment advice and all that stuff. And they're also launching browser 3, which is like
a Web3
browser that has
which I feel it might be like Brave.
Yes, like Brave
browser.
Have much more Web3 tools like DeFi, wallets, AI and all that stuff. So they are still pushing, they are still building out the parallel, which is like the EVM version of Alright, another platform like agent.land that will be hosting there.
And realistically, I sincerely feel Alright has gotten to the point. Right now it's at $2.9.
Right.
It has gotten to the point where its fair value should be minimum $40.
Okay.
You get its fair value. For those watching, this is not a financial advice, but it's the advice that I'm following though.
The fair value $40 will be fair value
minimum right now. The fair value is supposed to be at least $40,
which currently is like 20x from where it is now.
No, 15x, not even up to 15x, like 13x, because 10x is $30.
Right. So let's say it's at $3 now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's not even up to 15x. That should be like 12, 13x, which should be approximately $500 million FDV.
Right.
Now, if you look at what these guys have built, truthfully, the FDV of that project is not supposed to be anything less than 500 million.
Right.
Truthfully, then the price per token is not supposed to be less than $40. Which anyone that is investing right now is actually positioned for huge upside, huge returns. But I'm still observing the team. They always deliver, and they ship whatever they are building really fast.
They actually do.
And they communicate. They are very responsive. They are very, very active, and they are very meticulous too in whatever it is that they are doing, which I sincerely do hope most other projects can emulate from what they are doing. And they've been very, very consistent.
They are really consistent. At some point I was looking for, because I know there are projects that are interconnected in Cosmos, like for example projects like DAO, right? You can see Kujira integrated DAO, Alright chain also integrated DAO and all that. So I was thinking maybe sometime in the future, before Kujira had this issue, wouldn't it be nice if the world of Kujira and Alright collide?
As long as they are still Cosmos projects.
That's what I'm saying, because these two teams were always building in the bear market. Like,
it's possible.
We saw tools on Kujira that you couldn't see any places in crypto, general, no other chain in crypto. And we saw the dedication of the Alright team shipping valuable things that that people will come to realize the need for this thing, and they are shipping it, and they have been profitable even without having a whole lot of attention to the ecosystem.
They've actually been profitable.
Same thing with Kujira. Kujira was actually profitable, and the systems were working as it was intended to, so much so that at some point the system had to even now work against them, because it was that efficient to what it was doing that when they made an error, the system still executed the way it was supposed to execute. So for me, I think with the market getting a little bit grim, we'll start to see some utility tokens. Come back
We're
to life.
actually expecting.
But then we've seen some movements with memes, though.
Yeah, memes. Now that's the thing. That's the thing, actually. Sometimes some persons can be like, memes are dead. I don't think memes are going anywhere.
Memes are like
Memes
a fun way
will
of ushering, ushering
memes
things
will
in.
always be in this market, no matter what. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
God,
Memes
everything
will always
is
be in
mimeable.
this market.
The Pope's death, coins came up that people were trading.
It's crazy.
Now that we even have
Pope died and people made money from Pope's death.
Of course. Even now that we now have social predictions platforms that you can bet on
Crazy and insane
who will be the
outcomes.
next pope. Yes. You can, even because people were even betting that there will be another pope 2025.
Yeah, people have already started predicting that.
Sick, you get, they didn't even know he was going to die, and there was already a prediction market going on for that. So now that the pope is dead, there are so many other prediction markets as to who's going to be the next pope.
Yeah, and people are already betting on that.
People are betting
trying to make money.
You get, so, and that in a way is like a degen culture, a fun culture, where a gambling kind of
it's
culture.
It's quite sad it's quite sad for most persons, because imagine when your religion or your culture, someone else is
profiting from,
looking for ways to profit from it, while some persons are mourning the death of the Pope and all of those things, trying to pray and observe certain stuffs. Some other persons are just busy creating memes about that, trading it to make money. Speculating on the price. Some are rogging people.
It's the world that we are in.
It's just crazy.
Is the world that we're in.
It's really, really crazy. So I don't think memes will stop anytime soon. No, it will never stop. If it can get to that sensitive, something that sensitive,
it won't.
Almost everything is memeable.
I tell you, we had Easter meme coins.
Memeable.
We had the Pope's. Even when he was sick, we had coins, the tokens come up that were some were wishing him well, and some other were kind of weird. But this is the culture where we're in the decentralized. That is why you won't see platforms like Pom.fun was trying to have more moderators to help moderate.
Yeah.
But if we say let's go full decentralization,
well, you don't need to moderate nothing.
It's now in the hands of anything I make out of it, I can use it to do. Because we saw what was happening with Pom.fun. People were streaming themselves, hurting themselves. People were going
just for money,
hurting other people just for other people to buy their token. People were starting weird challenges and trends. And so someone caged whether the boyfriend put the boyfriend on a cage, and someone was pointing a gun at a baby.
It just shows you how far the human mind can go once there's incentive
attached to
something, and it's scary.
That's why we still need regulation, whether we like it or not.
You can't do without regulation. For whatever you need to thrive, there has to be some form of regulation. Also, if you want it to be sustainable, they will just have to find a way to moderate it one way or the other to regulate. But for something that is still very new, it will be somehow difficult regulating it initially, because when regulating, I don't want to over-regulate it to the point where
kill the idea,
kill the whole idea. So you just need to see what this thing can metamorphose to, then find ways to extract some positive stuff from it. Then the unnecessary ones you can now regulate them, like this is causing more harm than good. So if regulation comes to like meme coins, we can now start seeing, would see a slowdown in that. But if there's no regulation, it stays the way it is. It's going to be terrible long term. It will be terrible. But yeah, what coins are you looking at before we round up? What projects are you looking at buying right now?
I have I still bought a lot more, right? I got a few AO, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to get Max, but I didn't get Max. The last time we spoke, Max did almost like 70%.
Yeah, it had done almost 80-90,
which was
good
really
pump.
Good. Yeah, it was a good pump. I didn't think Max would almost do a 2x before Ori. I didn't think that. So, but then, assuming I put the money I put on Ori in Max, I would have almost gotten double of it.
And
still buy maybe the amount of
All right.
or I wanted to see, but I still have some change. But that didn't happen. I'm also looking at Rax. Rax is also
Rax is actually a very, very good project.
It's a good buy.
I did load up some of it.
Yeah.
At below 800k FDV.
Yeah. So I think a little bit of the one that's a little bit of a gamble for me now is Lee.
Okay. I actually believe Lee would do well because it's still below 200k FDV.
Yes.
So I think it would do well.
Because you know that people lost money in Lee.
Truthfully.
Right? So, and Ochai is the one in charge of Lee, and we've seen what Ochai is still building. And I think compared to all of them, Lee has much more direct approach and much more direct control from Ochai than, let's say, something like the Generator.
Or Rax.
Or Rax is the right team directly. So and Rax is not as low as Lee. Lee's
in terms of
market cap
FDV
is really, really low. That if there's a huge pump to that ecosystem, Rax is supposed to be like one of the winners in terms of price action. But I think Rax might do well the moment what's it called? The parallel opens up. That's their EVM opens up, and there's more
but that's still a possibility though. I would have to
because I feel if more liquidity start coming to the ecosystem, because Rax what Lee does basically is just liquidity farming. You get to it hops on liquidity pools to give you the better yield. So I feel if Ori opens up their parallel, EVM is live. People holding Lee might not start seeing their interest dropping, and then more people might start gaining attention to the token and all that stuff. But let's see how it plays out. Anyway.
That's good. For those that are actually watching, so we do share strategies and some trades that you could take, like we did share last time on our last Twitter spaces. We share it in the community, on Telegram, on Clubhouse, on the Twitter spaces. We do share it. So talking about some of the stuffs that we shared last time, and some of the stuffs that I bought personally, we shared like Prompt, an airdrop token that we did swing. We shared Wallet Connect strategy behind swinging that, and also if you want to trade it on features, we did share some of those stuffs, and we actually dropped some other projects too that people could load up on in the last Twitter spaces while Bitcoin was still at I think that the Bitcoin was $86,000 while we're having that spaces. It's 5 or it's 6 while we're having that spaces, and we shared most of all those details. So if you're not part of the community, try as much as possible to join the community. We also share deep insight and details on airdrops that we're farming, which brings us to an airdrop that we're currently farming and actively using the platform, which is Backpack. Backpack. So if you're unaware, we're actually farming the Backpack airdrop. We're not only farming the airdrop, we're also utilizing the platform for its services. It's an exchange, it's also a wallet provider, and it also does lending and borrowing. So we're also utilizing that. So you might want to jump on it. If you need more details on how to get started, how to go about it, you have to find your way to our Telegram channel, where we'll give you all of the details, and you can ask all the questions real time and we would respond. So if you're not part of the channel, please find your way to the channel. And do you have any last words, advice? Personally, from me, I would say Bitcoin is now at $94,000. You also start seeing everyone around you talking about Bitcoin. You still start seeing it on the news, green everywhere, and next thing, euphoria would kick in. Most persons will start rushing, not even to buy Bitcoin, but to buy other scam projects that they will end up losing money. So if you know you don't have the right knowledge, the right idea, the right mentor or guidance, or you're not part of the right community, it's best you stay clear of the market. But if you would still want to get involved, then you can find a way to any of the communities around you, or if you prefer ours, you can join our community and we can walk you through the process so you don't end up being a victim. Any parting words? Well,
I think you've said it all. We're always here talking about crypto every week, so you can always join the community and we'll be glad to have you guys with us.
So guys, that's the end of today's episode. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share the video. You can send us a mail or leave comments about stuffs you want us to improve or talk about. Thanks guys, and bye bye.